Restoration is brought to you by
High Sense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Yes, extra long sanitary pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
Pepsodent, 10 times stronger teeth.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smells.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Pepsodent. Everywhere so Royal Aroma say, oh yeah, baby.
It is a pleasure to come your way, and I'd like to a very big thank you to you for sticking with us and being with us all these years. A very big thank you going out to our sponsors, Hisense, everyday prizes for everyday people, Yas Washing Powder and Yas Sanitary Pad, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Hooch Corn and Choco Flakes. A very big thank you to Tuwazi Apartments located at Mile 7 near the Mile 7 Park. And I'd also like to say a very big thank you to King of Antique Furniture for giving us our lovely set. And I believe that you love the new look in our studio, and it's all thanks to King of Antique Furniture located at La Paz on the N1. A very big thank you going out to my glam team. Definitely, I cannot do without ABS Lux Line Ophelia. Thank you very much for my outfit. A very big thank you to Hair Duties located at Osunia Photo Club for my hair. And my makeup is by GH Beauty Artistry. We'll be right back after this break.
Stadium feeling everything 12 January I copim say about AFCON every my AFCON and Soja call I won't feel Hisense TV AFCON TV and a sound system Yatisu say who a Hisense AFCON double promo the best AFCON beer style of the beer can clear our Hisense and the AFCON TV so don't hear the let's a commentary no so chagua Tieni clear our Hisense sound system so Bora Hisense showroom bia na ube uza ya TV any sound system so Ezen AFCON ninti sa uto ade wa Hisense ya wasumu jo Hisense kwa na ma 5 years manufacturer defect warranty sa AFCON radio ya mani je no anya double if you say Hisense wo hama Hisense ya de bona to Ezen football ninti Hisense sheshe kakra wo hu
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra yan kwan stew dodo a ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. Steak a little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix into. Me handwriting and sada. Senande dene dia sa net into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
Remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month. Yas extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yes, comfort. I got yes, confidence. I got yes.
The new Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow.
Yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month?
Yes. I got yes, confidence. I got
Yes.
we got yes, protection. I got
Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad for extra comfort.
we got yes, protection.
Kojo, come and see oh.
Papa, what's going on here?
See the Royal Aroma bags I have ordered. Oh, BABDB is back again. I've already received my motorbike, my television, and some cash. Oh.
Hey, Papa, you will champion. I need to go and order my bags of Royal Aroma immediately.
My people, you are guaranteed to win amazing prizes, electric fan, microwave, motorbike, TV, and even cash prizes. Everywhere so Royal Aroma say, oh yeah, baby. This advert is FDA approved.
I love Pepsodent Charcoal.
Why?
When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here. Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has 2 of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced? Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Wait, your tomato mix. Wouldn't so one on pass. Still with tomato flavor no color changing like traffic light. Come on.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. The steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup.
Taste not so dear. On point. Flavor near.
And it doesn't color your meat or chicken. I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
This advert is FDA approved.
Ow.
Let me see.
She's never had a toothache before.
There might be a cavity. Don't you use Pepsodent?
We used to, but I'll try the new one.
Ah, that's why.
But doesn't every toothpaste give cavity protection?
Not really. Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter repairs tiny invisible holes to give 10 times stronger teeth. Will you trust Pepsodent?
Definitely.
Pepsodent. 10 times stronger teeth.
Use Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter.
Yeah. Oh, you can keep the change.
Thank you
know
very
what?
much, boss.
Let me even give you a bag of Royal Aroma rice. With the Obiabedibi promo, you stand a chance of winning amazing prize like a TV set, cash discount, or even a motorcycle.
I feel way so. Royal Aroma say,
This
advert is FDA approved.
Sebano demu nkonya bia ntumi me no king of antique furniture antique chese tete nkonya efe ene ohu ani design no bia ne nse Shababi etina didie dining sets papa iwumu asorto the edit television shisha so a friend TV stands papa ni bini say carpets the edit bonyum eye dem nhwehwe the edit bedrooms the edit hall and the hotels restaurants offices ehemfo sorry asori mpanimfo adwuma mpanimfo won nyina ba me nkyɛn bepe nkonya ifiri sɛ efata won me nkonya na ne won dem sɛ opani bia paade efe enu ntimeto nsa frɛ wo sɛ bomoden so beba king of antique furniture ɛhɔ ɛna obenya de efe a ɛkyɛ ifiri sɛ ɛyɛ papa. Showrooms bebre na wogana ha nanso ebu pia ni wani me de ese king of antique furniture hwehwɛ machira kwan ɛwɔ La Paz Abrantia Sport dan ni mu a anase La Paz kwantempo no so ye branch kɛseɛ pa wɔ Nyamecha Junction no so a to ani hwɛ soro na hɔ na abehu king of antique furniture showroom no frɛmie 0244 719 095 sɛ woba na sɛ wo ho nso a wokakra bi a wo bia fato ebresem aba befa akɔ ebi ni baabi a gye hanko a king of antique furniture abodam 6 home of quality furniture.
A big thank you going out to my production team, M-Plan Media Production, and our refreshment partner, the Souza Catering Services. Well, it's a new year, it's a new dawn, and I would like to say that it is time for you not to set limitations for yourselves. If you set limitations for yourself, it's mostly because you are afraid. But I think fear is also one thing that cripples us to be our best. So this year, I want you to face your fears, embrace new opportunities, and move forward because you are the only person who can stop yourself from being great. And talking about limitation, my guest today is a woman who knows no limitations. I mean, there are certain things that you are going to expect. This is something for men to do. But this guest of mine has done it as a woman and has done it flawlessly. Please, let's welcome my guest for today, Mrs. Rosina Kokui Ashirifi. She's a banker, she's a rider, she's a life coach, she's a content creator, and she's also a salsa dancer and instructor. Please welcome my guest, Rosina. How are you?
I'm good.
I know when I said rider, I'm sure most of them are wondering. I mean, she's a bike rider. And when I say bike rider, it's not the Okada that you see in the market too, like the huge bikes that you see the muzzled men ride. That is what she loves to ride. You said you're going to teach me.
Yes, I will.
I'm taking you up on that. But it's not when ladies ride and they have the leather pants and the helmets and the gloves.
Yeah, it attracts a lot of attention.
Yeah, I want to be able to do that.
You can. There's still a riding school that you can actually go to.
Okay.
Yes, that's Gear Shift Academy. You can go there. They will teach you how to ride. It's actually owned by.
I want you to teach.
It's owned by my husband, so the two of us will teach you.
Okay. So you just did the adverts. How are you, Rosina?
I'm doing great. How are you too?
I'm blessed. The Lord has been good. He's been favorable to us. So let's start with you.
Yes.
Growing up, okay? Because if you're a biker, I would want to think you grew up among boys.
Okay.
Did you grow up among boys in your house?
It's funny, but I only have sisters.
Oh, jeez.
I have, how many are we? We are 8 girls. 8 girls, yes. So we are 8 girls.
Mommy kept trying.
So I grew up among girls, and growing up, for me, I was actually born asthmatic. So when I was growing up, I was actually sheltered, like, protected, not to do this, not to do that. But my soul was adventurous. My spirit was adventurous. So I wasn't allowed to do a lot of things. But over the years, my dad realized that, look, Rosina had an adventurous spirit. And from time to time, they allowed me to do some of the things. And I give credit to my dad because he didn't treat his girls like girls. We were treated like his children. So he said
no limitations.
No limitations. He was a DIY man. So in terms of carpentry, he had toolboxes. We did sewing with a hacksaw. If we had to hammer something, if we had to nail something, you had to wash a car. Yeah, there's no boys. So we are the boys in the house. So there was no limitations. We could do anything. We could weed, wash cars, do a lot of things. So I think that, but for me personally, among the crop of sisters that we had, like my siblings and I can dare say I was the most adventurous. I was always the one that you couldn't expect what was coming out from me. I mean, my sister would be learning and I'm busily playing cards with the boys, playing cha-cha with the boys, and things like that. So, or riding bicycles in the area and things like that. So I've always been an adventure person. I've always wanted to do something, travel places, see places, meet new people, meet new cultures. I just didn't want to be defined as the sickler or the one who was always falling sick or the one who couldn't do one thing or couldn't do the other. So my whole life has been about doing things to challenge myself and also to drive my passions. Yeah.
Growing up with 7 other sisters.
Well, I grew up with 2 others. Okay. The rest are my half-sisters, but we relate beautifully. But among my sisters, 3 of us grew up in the same house.
The same house?
Yes.
How easy or difficult was it? Because when you have 2 girls around, there's always drama.
Oh, the drama was there.
Long and honest.
The drama was there. So I was the oldest one. Okay. And in fact, they call me the protocol officer. So I'm the one who usually wants peace to prevail, but I have a hot head. Don't get it twisted. Mm-hmm. And then my backbone, Phyllis, she was very studious. I mean, she collects all the awards in schools and everything. Jennifer was like a hybrid between both of us.
Okay.
So, but we're all very strong women, very strong opinions. And I believe wherever we've gone to, we've always made our mark. Like, no, you have to remember us one way or another when we step somewhere. So it was very interesting, very, very interesting. So it was a girl's house. And yeah, that's it.
School. When you've been at home with your sisters and eventually high school comes in and you have to move away, was it easy for you?
Oh, very easy. So
yeah, I know it will be easy.
Yeah,
all over the
I'm all over the place. I'm very versatile. To start with, I was looking for an opportunity to go out of home. So we actually went into boarding school.
Does it always feel like that? Like you just want to get out of the house and go to boarding school?
To start with, like I said, personally, because I used to fall sick, they wanted to give me some kind of preferential treatment, but I didn't like that because I wanted to feel normal. And I think my spirit wanted to break barriers, wanted to break boundaries. So to start with, it wasn't the best. So when I went to primary school, like GSS, boarding school, that was where the adventure in me started coming out. I started doing things for myself. I started engaging in sports. So I did sports. I was running, volleyball, basketball especially, and even the running. I was doing the long distance races and then the short sprints up to 400. The only races I didn't really do was 800 and 1,005.
Okay.
I was doing the cross countries and then the short sprints. So that's where the me started coming out. And it was nice. And at least you get to live with other people, especially the boys, because I'm coming from a girls' place.
Yes.
At least there were boys in school, so it was exciting. And progressing to secondary school, all of us read science. And in a science class, in our time especially, you would know women were in the minority. So we had a lot of men. And I was actually the class rep for my science class for the 3 years that we were in secondary school. So wherever I've gone to, I think I have shown, everybody have seen the caliber of person that I am. So I've always ended up picking up roles and doing things wherever I've been to. Yeah. And I was I was in all the clubs in school. Think about it, Junior Achievement, Interact Club, Writers and Debaters Club, like so many things. Yeah.
Very active.
Very active, extremely active. I don't go through places. I have to make sure that I leave my impact. I leave footprints. You know, you need to look back and...
They have to miss you.
They have to miss you when you're gone. And you need to leave some positive footprints so that when people talk about you, they have something positive to say about you. Exactly.
So for a science student, how did you end up in the banking field?
I don't know. Okay, so I can't mention my bank as it is, but after I finished when I was in uni, I used to work in between vacations.
Yeah. Internships.
Internships, like, and I was working in an uncle's company as an accounts clerk. So I used to take the checks to the bank and from the bank. So there was a day I was sent to a particular bank to go and do a transaction. And as soon as I walked into the bank, the people, the reception, the ambience, I said, one day I would work here. And that is the power of positive affirmation. I just said one day I would work here. Now, after uni, this bank was the only place I sent my application to. The only place I sent my application to. And I didn't have any connections there. So I was doing some service for somebody else, and then I got called to come for an interview or something of the sort. When we came, it was an aptitude test. It was supposed to last for about 3 hours. I finished like an hour and a half because I had something planned for that day. You know what I mean? My spirit, I had to finish and go. And I left. And it took a long time. It took them about 2 months to call us back for a second session. And then long and short, I got shortlisted and then I started working in the bank.
Is that the same bank you work?
That's the same bank I've been in for almost 2 decades now. Yeah. Yeah.
Within the 2 months you're waiting for that call, were you worried? Did you feel, what if they don't call me?
No, I wasn't worried. So I was working in a different company. Like, I work every vacation. Like, I just can't be idle. I just can't sit still. So I was working during the period, and at the time I was managing a project. So for me, I was busy.
You're already busy.
I was already busy. However, it was a bank I wanted to work for. And like I said, I walked into the bank, saw what I saw, and my spirit knew that I had to be a part of the story. And that's the only place I sent my application to. I didn't send it anywhere else apart from that particular bank. And then I got it, and I've been there since.
Do you remember where you were the day you had a call that would have been accepted?
Yes, I was in Kanda.
What were you doing in Kanda?
That's where I was working. Okay. So I was in Kanda, and when I got the call, now my problem was telling the one I was working with that I've gotten a new job. I didn't know how to do it because my boss then was also very nice. But this is where I wanted to be.
This is where your heart...
My heart was. I remember I had to call my mom To coach you? No, to talk to my boss on my behalf. Oh, because that's Mr. James. I mean, he was a very good boss. So I didn't want to just leave like that.
Let's break his heart.
And break his heart. So I told my new office that, look, I'm somewhere I need to hand over properly. So they should give me a month. So even though my colleagues started working early September, I actually started working in October.
In October?
Yes. So they understood and they gave me that opportunity to hand over within a month properly before I joined them.
The first day you stepped foot in that establishment, what was the feeling?
The first day I stepped foot there was actually my birthday.
Oh.
So that was so I started working on my birthday in the bank. And for me, like I said, it's a brand I had always wanted to be associated with. So to actually be part of that, it was amazing. And today, some of my very good friends, people that I actually started working with, like the batch, the intake, they have become very, very, very good friends to me as we speak.
And I think that brand, you and I know the brand, has been a very consistent brand.
Very consistent.
And it's actually a family that I belong to as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been very consistent. And
there you go.
It's how you handle people.
Yes.
It's not like you treat anybody like, yes, I'm keeping your money.
Yeah.
But you're concerned.
Yes.
That is what makes that brand very unique.
Yes.
They've not paid me on the show, so I'll not give them the ad.
No problem.
Let's come to the dance.
Okay.
Salsa instructor.
Oh.
And also, Ben was saying, I mean, you're a sports girl, we have heard. You're a banker, we have heard. Where did you have the time to engage?
So I'm not a natural dancer.
Okay.
So those times when I start dancing, they urge me to dance because it's an opportunity to probably laugh at me, but I wouldn't mind anyway. So when someone said they could teach me how to dance, I said, are you sure? I have 2 left feet. There's no way you can teach me how to dance. So I went for salsa at University of Ghana, the math department, and I went dancing. And the very first day, as soon as they broke the steps down to me, I got it. And then the instructor then used me to demonstrate the couple moves to everybody else. And once again, like I said, I don't like being put in a box of not being able to do.
Yeah.
So I took it personal. And then because I had a sports background, whilst people were dancing on the floor, I started dancing, introducing things like flips, back flips, throws. They will lift me, throw me up in the air. No, don't let the size fool you. I used to be slimmer then. But yeah, so I used to do a lot of acrobatics within the dance. So those who know me back then.
And salsa is all about flexibility.
And I was very flexible. So I didn't even know where that came from. Like those times when you see me at a salsa event and I'm dancing, when I'm dancing, nobody else dances. So it's like I was very flexible. I was very strong. I brought my athleticism to bear. So I was doing all the flips, all the dips, all the throws, wrapping myself around people's bodies, coming down. I mean, those were amazing times. Sometimes I wish cameras were available then like it is now.
Social media.
Yeah, like I'm sure
when you're telling kids, they're like, mommy.
No, even someone I see some of the current crop of people and they are doing their things, I'm like,
I don't know what to
do. Yes, so that's how it started. And then within a matter of like a year and a half, people started approaching me, wanting me to instruct in their salsa outlets, which I took up. So I started teaching on different sports until I got married, started having children, and I had to put it on the back burner for a while because salsa is usually an evening event.
Yeah.
And you need to have time for your children, especially when they're growing up. So I put it on the back burner for a while, and then I rekindled it somewhere last year. So hopefully, I don't know, we'll start instructing at things like
salsa is also very therapeutic. That's one thing people do not know about. When you're stressed, those movements, because I remember I used to dance salsa. Yes. There was this place at Osu behind Citizen Coffee. There was a salsa club.
Yes,
there was a salsa club there. And it was so cool. I think that time was Freeman and his boys.
Yes.
And you realize by the time you are done,
yes,
you feel so fresh, just like you've taken a burden off you. I remember the first, like the basics. It's the 1, 2, tap together, 1, 2.
Yeah.
And it's the moment you keep going, it's like fun. You forget you're even learning to dance.
And you know, dance in itself is an expression of what you have inside. So when you see someone who is sometimes, when I'm, like you said, when you're very stressed, and you get that music, you know, the conga beat.
Yeah.
And then, you know, all of a sudden your body starts moving. And then once you start listening to the music, it comes through you. So sometimes, especially when it comes to freestyling, where you are just moving your feet, moving your arms, putting it out there.
You get the
exactly, you get the footwork, you are good. So dance is a form of therapy on its own. And apart from being therapy, it's also an exercise. Because whilst you are dancing, you are moving your feet, you are moving your arm, your body posture, things like that. Even your core is engaged. So dance is actually one of those exercises that is like, it's a full exercise. So mentally you're exercising, physically you're exercising, and sometimes emotionally you're exercising. Because if you're dancing with a loved one, there's a different way you express it. You understand? To show that kind of love that you have for your partner, the eye contact and everything. And it also helped me to deal with people. So before, I couldn't look people straight in the eye. It was difficult. But salsa taught me, like the instructor then, you know, you need to engage, look into the person's eye, and that's how you maintain movement. And I used to be very good at doing multiple spins. I could spin like 50 spins in the spot.
Whoa.
So, and to do that spin, there's a technique. You look at the person the longest time, take your eye off, and your eye has to come back before the rest of your body follows. So you learn all these techniques and it helps you. So now I can engage you and look at you and not feel that I'm in your space. Yeah. So salsa is a complete exercise on its own, and it's something everybody should try.
Yeah, I think you should have a salsa club. Many of people will enroll.
Maybe I should for some.
You shouldn't. I mean, come on.
We'll have it.
You have it.
We'll do it.
I'll come.
Okay.
Okay. I'll be a club member.
No problem.
All right.
No problem.
So with all this going on in your life, when did marriage come in? And how did you meet him?
Yeah, this story. Okay, so I've always wanted to learn how to ride. Always wanted to learn how to ride. So I've been talking to people, teach me. They couldn't teach me. So one day I met, there's this gentleman who also plays basketball, Mimi Falconer. So Mimi, I worried him, Charlie, teach me how to ride a bike. Then he thought I was joking. And I met him again on the basketball court with a bike. I said, look, this thing you have to teach me because otherwise I'm going to kill myself trying to learn it on my own. And he goes like, well, I ride, but I'm not a teacher. So if you want to learn how to ride, I'll give you somebody to teach you. So he gave me a gentleman's name called Harry. So I called Harry. Harry said I should show up at Kokui, Robust Engineering Services. So I showed up there and I called the man. The man said, oh, he's not available. I should ask of Daniel. And this started what I should say. So I asked of Daniel and I said, oh, please, who is Daniel? And the said Daniel responded to me and asked me, who is asking for Daniel? Because I didn't know who the Daniel was. And I said, well, I'm talking to a gentleman called Harry, and Harry says I should ask of Daniel. He was then playing draft. Then he said, well, I'm Daniel. No one has told me I'm meeting anybody. And in my head, I'm like, what a snob. I wanted to give him some back kicks and some uppercuts and, and I was just standing there. Then I think he spoke to his brother, came back and said, well, as you can see, I'm busy. So when I'm done, I'll attend to you. Yes, and I was livid. But the thing is, I spent so many years trying to learn how to ride. So finally having an opportunity to ride, I couldn't react. So finally he came and he said, are you Nigerian? I said, no. Are you from the north? I said, no. So why do you want to ride? I said, who is this? Then I spoke all my English. Oh, I want to ride because that's not good enough. Anyway, there's a bike on this side. Go and throw your legs over the bike. And let me see whether it's good for you. And I'm like, okay. Then after I says, okay, that's okay. So you want to learn how to ride. So do you have a bike? And I said, no, I don't have a bike. I was hoping that you would teach me So whose bike do you want to use to learn? Hey, I'm like, this man. Why you rude? Bring it, just say, oh, I'm in another life, you know? Like, he's pushing buttons. And at that time, I was boiling balls.
To your car.
But the thing was, I needed it. So I had to, stay calm. So after that, I still don't have an investment. So I'll break it and I'll buy a bike, which I did. And then after that experience, he took me out one time on a bike to go and visit another biker who had just had an accident. Then he had a surgery on his arm. So he took me around. We went to 37 to see him. And then after we finished, he says, you said you want to ride. These are some of the things that could happen to you. Do you still want to ride? I said, yes, I still want to ride. He said, okay, fine. So we started going through the whole process of training. But whilst we were training, I realized that, initially, I was thinking that who is this crass, rude, snobbish? But after dealing with him, I realized that no, he's a very intelligent man. He had very good knowledge of current affairs, and he could speak very good English and write. Look, he speaks and writes better than me. And I started seeing all those qualities in him. So we became very good friends. Very, very good friends. So we're never dating or anything, but we're just good friends. Until one day, he just popped the question out of the blue. So my husband and I never really dated.
Mind dating?
There was no opportunity for me to say, this is my boyfriend.
How?
Or this is my girlfriend. He only said, oh, he was going to kill me for this. So I check on the calendar and see what dates July 7th falls on, because his favorite number is 7. And I said, July 7th, oh, it falls on a Tuesday, why? Oh, I was hoping we could get married that day. And I said, what?
We are not dating.
And I'm like, what?
We are not.
So I quickly got out of the room. I went to the washroom. I did number 2 seriously, because I had instantly Miyama coming, because I'm like, I'm down wife material like che. So you understand? Yeah. You've dated people, you've played the part, you've done things, and you've cooked, you've washed, you've cleaned, you've somersaulted, you've done things. So I didn't know So it's like, what is happening? So I came back and I said, he said, oh, well, I've known you for some time. I like you, like me. I think I can live with you.
How sure was he that?
I think I can live with you. If you can live with me, then let's get married. And this was in December of 2015. Then I asked myself, Charlie, you've done this thing severally, and this one. And because we had the benefits of friendship, we knew each other. And I had told him a lot about myself in the past. So there's nothing that he was going to hear anywhere that would shock him. That'll be news. And we could get along, we could communicate. I could tell him almost anything. So I was like, you know what? All said and done, if I want to do this marriage thing, I would want a friend. I want somebody I can talk to, somebody I can communicate with, somebody I don't have to think about what I'm going to say it. Yeah. So I said, I just took a gamble and I said, okay, fine, let's do this. But July is not a good time for me because I would want my sister who is abroad to come down, and it's very peak season. So why don't we settle for August? And since your number is 7, let's look for a date that has 7 in it, August 27th. Then we set the date, and that was it. Wow. So that story is a very strange story, but here we are today.
How many years down the line?
It was in 2016, so 7 years.
Counting.
And counting, yes.
Brana no ya snob.
Well, it is a sister let me find you from cry. Maybe I could be a tiny chin the thing.
Oh, family is a plaster.
Die.
Good. On that note, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Rosina. We'll be right back.
Stadium feeling, wow with them. Everything 12 January, I call him say, Babo Afcon every my Afcon, and Soja call. I won't feel Hisense TV, Amcom TV, and a sound system. Yatisu say who? A Hisense Afcon double promo. The best you Afcon beer, style of Babon beer, can clear our Hisense and the Amcom TV. So, Sadam, showroom bia na wobɛhu sɛ yɛatete TV any sound system so ɛsan Afcon ninti sɛ wotɔ adeɛ wɔ Hisense a wasom Jones Hisense nko ana ma 5 years manufacturer defect warranty sa Afcon radio yɛma anigye no anya double if you say Hisense wɔ hɔma mo Hisense yɛde bɔɔla to phone box ɛsan football ninti Hisense hyehyɛ kakra wɔ ho.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra yan kwani stew dodo a ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. Steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix inti. Me handwriting and sada. Then na ne dia sa net into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
This advert is FDA approved.
Kojo, come and see oh.
Papa, what's going on here?
See the royal aroma bags I have ordered. BB is back again. I've already received my motorbike, my television, and some cash. Oh.
Hey, Papa, you will champion. I need to go and order my bags of royal aroma immediately.
My people, you are guaranteed to win amazing prizes: electric fan, microwave, motorbike, TV, and even cash prizes. Everywhere, so Royal Aroma say, "Oh yeah, baby!" This advert is FDA approved.
Remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month? Yas extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yes, comfort, I got. Yes, confidence, I got. Yes.
The new Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow.
Yes. Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month?
Yes. I got. Yes, confidence, I got.
Yes.
We got yes protection. I got.
Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
I love President Charcoal.
Why?
When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Pepsodent.
Let me see.
She's never had a toothache before.
There might be a cavity. Don't you use Pepsodent?
We used to, but I'll try the new one.
Ah, that's why.
But doesn't every toothpaste give cavity protection?
Not really. Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter repairs tiny invisible holes to give 10 times stronger teeth. Will you trust Pepsodent?
Definitely. Pepsodent. 10 times stronger teeth.
Use Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter.
Yeah.
No, you can keep the change.
Thank
you
you
know
very
what?
much, boss.
Let me even give you a bag of Royal Aroma rice. With the Obiabedibi promo, you stand a chance of winning amazing prize like a TV set, cash discount, or even a motorcycle.
I feel way so. Royal Aroma say,
August is FDA approved.
Hi, it's another week, and seriously, Mamenka, me ba Nima, and a man share Fatima to Ankecha Mamba Nima. Because Fatima today is a very easy name. Our bazo also we share Fati. Intimashia me Fati at say. Like yes, open restoration. We patrol the hipa, ne ye will fepa.
Yeah, me share attach me. I am in fair. Yeah, Columbia. Only papa abrabom bia I diama omo akoda sorry dina like eno e ma miss me kakra because it say obi nso nya the same similar problem until me share no e me mombo pa na that day no share atare bi e fe u dress
They be having them address you.
yes e fe panty me so here
nti we have shown na ya na dia na u feel in crime shabe na wonya
it means say like abrabo we on like in some way nyepe and then you watch na be obi from because me obi a like almost ka later na abrabo abe change nipo ayemida misusa makwa aware mo na ni ama best sign na me say abrabo we it misisa
nti by a high sense for say yemra na imeda was said the bia we show the high sense for say yemfa water kettle embro so me just a fast so about the starting to kettle the unya e wo fie pa nti nyankopon inshallah yeah now catch high sense
you don't want to me sure
amen Fati. So Fati is our winner this week. Next week, God willing, will come your way with another winner from Nima. Welcome back, and as we do every week, we get to give out something amazing from Hisense to our loyal viewers, and that is our winner for this week's Hisense giveaway moment. And very soon in the studio, Rosina will also get to pick a card and take something home. Look at how she's excited.
I know.
You know, like, no, this year my producer, you have to let me also take part in this Hisense giveaway because every time
you're giving, but a lot,
but I'm not receiving. So this year, no, it has to change. I mean, especially on my birthday, you guys should do something for me. Let me pick something and take home. It's not fair.
Not fair.
It's not fair at all.
But I can come again, collect another one, and then give that one to you.
Okay, that's also not bad. But we don't have
the way they mean for foundation. It's going home.
And it's also in your face, outside. So we're back.
Yes.
Now I want to come to your bike journey. What the bike in your door? What the bike? Who could share how to ride? And you've gone for a husband. So the biking journey. Why would a woman just wake up one day and say, I want to ride across Ghana? Who does that? And what compelled you to do that?
Okay, so to start with, like I said in the beginning, I have a very adventurous spirit, and I wanted to visit places, do things. And when I watch movies and I watch all these bike races, especially the mud races, for some reason, it's nice. It's something I wish I could conquer.
My spirit
are sorry because, you see, that is conquering the unconquerable. There's one thing riding on asphalt, but there's another thing challenging yourself with certain terrains that even certain cars cannot go through. For me, it tells me the power of your mind because everything starts and ends in the mind. When you set up to do something or you set up to do something, once you think you can do it, the job is like 60% done. Then the next thing is to get the skill, train yourself and, get proper tuition so that you don't make certain funny mistakes. And then once you put all of that together, it's just a matter of taking it one day at a time. So I've always wanted to travel, even before the setup of AIS. There was a trip to Togo. We did a trip to Togo. That was in 2015? and I was part of it, and I went all the way.
How many hours did it take you to get to Togo?
Normally it took about 3 hours because there are stops and starts. So sometimes we ride a little bit, we stop somewhere, take pictures, and we stop somewhere, have a maybe eat something, drink water, and then we continue and stuff like that. So those are pleasure rides.
Okay, so for such rides, you're not alone. You go with
an entourage, and you go. And those times, I was always the only lady among the guys.
Okay.
Almost always the only lady among the guys. So we travel to places. Today we are going to Kropong. Tomorrow we are going to Kwawukume. The next day we are going to Togo. The next day we are going to Enugu. We are going to Takrady, Cape Coast. So for me, there were short trips like that. And I enjoyed it because anytime I went to places like that, apart from the fact that you are challenging yourself on the road, sometimes the weather is even different. Some places are dry and hot. Some are very, very cold. Some are humid. You are sweating. You can't control it. Then the different foods. And then last but not the least, the attention that you get just by the fact that you're a woman. You know, sometimes people you get to a filling station and then they are arguing. Oyoba, Oyebema, Oyoba, Debbie, mix Oyebema, Oyoba, then as soon as you take off your helmet, they're like, hey, Oyoba. Then, you know, you get all of this attention. So for me, the riding around and the concept of riding around Ghana is actually my husband's concept, to go ride around Ghana. And I jumped onto the train because apart from just riding around and seeing the terrains, he also had charity as part of the reasons why we're riding around. And I'm very big on charity. I do a lot of charity, even though I don't publicize it too much because sometimes I believe that when you're helping people, you don't have to make such a big deal of it. Especially when it comes to children, school fees. School fees are very I think I have plenty of children. And the messages I keep getting, and women who are in distress, things like that. So charity was big. And then the last one was a road advocacy. So, you know, being a biker, sometimes you are exposed, you are at risk. Even though you are geared properly, you are doing everything right, some car can just open the door and hit you, and then you're on the floor. And then breaking a limb, breaking an arm, or some of my people have not been very lucky. Or maybe some car driving in a lane they are not supposed to be in, or negotiating a turn and not using their mirrors. You know, very funny things like that. So as part of the trip, they also had a road safety campaign that, you know what, see us and then save us. When you are doing something, just look twice before you negotiate a turn, before you move, before you open your car doors, because underneath the helmets are responsible people like myself. So we shouldn't be part of the endangered species. So all that, for me, was a selling point for me to just get up and go. And as usual, you don't want a switching where just the men who are enjoying the terrain, the ride. So once again, I had to Antoine myself and put myself on the block to challenge myself to be able to do it. In fact, this is the second time I've done it.
So you've gone around Ghana twice?
Twice. So the first time I was scared inside.
Let's delve into the first time.
Yes.
The first time when the whole idea came, were you eager?
I was eager.
Scared?
All of it.
Were you anxious?
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
And you still went ahead?
I still went ahead. So in the morning, like I was ready. I had gotten a bike. It was customized to navigate some of the terrains here and there. But the previous ones that were gone to, and it was only the men. I saw pictures. I saw videos. I saw some of the difficult terrains they had to go through. So in a moment, you get scared. You're like, hey, this thing that I'm going, I don't want to be a liability to the guys. I want to be able to keep up. So I had to mentally psych myself up that, look, I'm going for the win. I'm not going to be a liability. I'm not going for people to be holding my bike, riding my bike, helping me pack, helping me do this. So let me go with a full mentality. And the thing is that my husband actually prepared me well with all these short trips we were taking. So anytime we go on a trip and we come back, oh, this part, you did this. Get better control of your back brake, better control of your clutches, better control of this, better control of that. Your bends, how to navigate short turns in short spaces, things like that. So I knew I was prepared, but I just had to mentally prepare myself to, navigate the terrain. So the beginning, it was, so at the point where we're supposed to leave the house to our meeting point, oh my God. no, as in to set off to our meeting points for the first AI, the AI's third edition, which was my first, my tummy again.
Again.
I
thought you had mastered everything.
That's my first reaction. So I was like, Charlie, this thing, I did Kokui. But I was like, no, Rosie, you need to do this so that at least other ladies can see that it can be done. And then we can have more ladies joining. So I went for the trip and it was successful. I went through the whole thing.
So where did you start from?
The previous one.
Yeah, the previous.
We started from the Joe Michelle.
Okay.
And then we went through Central Region.
Okay. And so you went through the N1 to
Kaswa, yeah. Through Central Region. And Charlie, the places we rode, some sand, like thick sand like this. So you beach, like the beach, thick beach sand. Now when they move 3-4 kilometers, it's not easy.
So you are always using the main roads?
No. In fact, we actually have tests for adventure roads. So we're using a lot of, some roads were good because that's the only road that connects one region to another. But some roads are bad. So for instance, in this edition, the Tumu Road, connecting Jirapa to Bogatanga is crazy. And then when we're coming from Takwa, we moved from Sunyani through Takwa, and then from Takwa, we went to Maha Beach Resort. Look, that road we used, it was not, like, I don't even know. And it's so, we go, and it's, look, some are loose gravels, some are sandy terrains, some are like clay, it's a little slippery, so, and some are rocks, some are gullies. So, and then we have techniques. Sometimes you have to stand on the bike whilst you are riding so that your body can act as an extra suspension to that of the bike. So, by the time I came back, and my knees were in trouble. But it was beautiful because anytime you ended the day, you felt like an achiever. And we also did charity, and we went to some very remote areas, very, very remote areas. Sometimes we had to go through places that look like farms. We had to ride through like farms to get to the places where we went to do the charity. And it's beautiful to see how the little that you have is so much elsewhere. Like we are here complaining. But when you go to, such places, the little that you have is so much. So the team went there with used clothes. We went there with bags of rice and then money for some of them. And it was humbling seeing the impacts that it made on all these people. But Charlie, the adventure is not easy. You need to psych your mind.
What are some of the risks? Because to everything, there would be risk.
Of course.
What are some of the risks? In such long trips.
Sitting on the bike alone is a risk in itself. And for long trips, there are things like fatigue. And sometimes when you encounter very good roads, very long stretch of good roads, there's a tendency to want to sleep on the ride.
Oh, you're joking.
Oh, I'm not joking. But it's not like
when the road is good.
When the road is very good and it's so long, like you're doing 2 hours of very good road at, sometimes it gets... I'm just saying that sometimes it gets boring. Sometimes. But
then there's no adrenaline.
It's an adrenaline rush, yes, because the roads are good, everything is fine. And then the dusty roads too, the dangers are that, Charlie, you can fall. You can fall. I mean, there are some potholes you meet, and they're not even potholes. They're like gutters in the middle of the road. So they are...
And it's called fishboat.
Yes, and there are things that you have to... Sometimes you practically jump over. There are moments where you and the bike friend, you are airborne.
You are airborne.
And then you land.
When you're in a car, sometimes it's like that when you encounter a speed ramp.
A speed ramp, and some of them
without caution
are not even properly marked.
Yeah.
So you are riding and then you hit into one. The next thing you know, you are airborne and you have to land. So there are risks associated with it. So, I mean, motorcycling is risky in itself. So there are risks associated with riding a motorcycle. So there were risks. And as a woman, a cycle also comes into play. So sometimes whilst on the journey, your cycle can come. So you can be riding and you're camping and all of that. But, we sail through it.
So what the man can do?
We can do. So if you do, it's not an excuse. You have to do it. So it's a very challenging experience, but it's very fulfilling. It's extremely fulfilling and very, I don't know. everybody needs to experience something like that.
So on this second one, can you give me the route you used?
Okay, so we started off from Accra. Then from Accra, we slept at Kwawukume. But we went
up the hill?
No, so we went to Akosombo first.
Okay.
Then went to Akosombo and used the Somanya Road. It's a very horrible road.
Yeah, the
Somanya Road.
That takes you through to Koforidua.
And then we headed to Kwawukume.
Okay, so you just Koforidua, then you get to Bonsu Junction.
Exactly.
Then, I can be a rider. See, I have
the map in your head.
Yeah, that's what in my head like that. So you get to Bonsu Junction, then go to Osunkoko.
Yes.
Then you do the climb. Were you not afraid? That's cool.
I'm scared of heights, naturally. So I don't even cross bridges. But that is part of the challenge. At least with that one, the bike is touching sometimes on your ground. So when I'm navigating through such areas, I don't watch side and side. Personally, I don't watch side and side. I just go.
Because, that route can be pretty scary.
Very scary. When you're in a car, very scary. So it was scary, but that's part of the challenge. That's part of things to work out.
I'm a deep panic. I'm a sandy panic. I don't risk.
Hey.
And that is when you have to be steady, because the slightest mistake,
yes,
you're going down.
Yes. And so there are times where you meet an obstacle. And I think there's one thing that I also do that I think helps me. When there's an obstacle, I don't panic.
Okay.
I always panic way after the fact. So at the point of meeting the obstacle, I'm actually extremely calm. I keep saying I'm a talkative, but under the helmet, I'm the most quiet person. I'm very calm. So there's an obstacle, something I didn't see, there's some darling. I actually enter panickless.
It's just like when you're driving and your tire bursts. If you're not careful and you apply your brakes.
I was very, very calm. And I'm rational at that moment. It is later that I think, but I'm like, hey, this could have happened. That could have happened. And that's why I panic a little bit.
So when you are able to get through the valley to the hill, how were you feeling?
An achiever.
Because your husband knew that you had that fright.
I think, no, he knows I have it, but I think my husband has more faith in me than I have in myself. So I'm sure if he didn't think I could do it, he wouldn't have allowed me. Exactly. I wouldn't have been part of, and he would have probably amended the routes to probably suit me. But no, we went the hardcore way. And I was actually enjoying that adventure, those routes. Yes. Because after you go through it, you feel like, Charlie, I've done what I didn't even think I could do. So we went to Kwawukume. Then from Kwawukume, the second day, we went through Lake Busum. We went to look for Lake Busum tree. That one we got lost. And then we went through some horrible places that cars could not even pass. And then after we finally located the Lake Busum tree, then we went and slept in Kumasi. And that's the beauty of it. So you use the map. It's an adventure. So sometimes you use the maps and you ask the locals, where is this? And then they'll point it to you.
Don't trust the GPS.
The GPS.
I thought that. Take left, take right. I said,
why not? There's a dead end. There's a dead end, exactly. So that's also part of the adventure.
So you like the old school way.
The old school way. So we do the maps, and then apart from the maps, sometimes we ask the locals if we feel that we are lost.
So catch yourself. Maybe we're watching. I'm going to watch you right anymore. How will you find a place?
Anyway, so from there we went to Kumasi. Then from Kumasi, the next day we went all the way to Kintampo. Then we went to the Kintampo.
So that from Kumasi, you used the Borehole Road. You went through a Feso.
Yes. They went to Kintampo. That was a relatively chill ride.
That was a very idea.
That was a relatively chill ride.
Yeah, because that road is good.
Yes, and we got to see so the following morning when we woke up, we went to the Kintampo waterfalls. We also got to see the center of Ghana. You know, Kintampo, there's a particular, how do you call it? There's a center of Ghana. Yeah. So we went to locate the very center of Ghana. Then from there, went to the Kintampo waterfalls. And then we also went to so many places. The tourist places, they're plenty. Then from Kintampo, we went up to Jirapa. Yes, then from Jirapa, we now crossed over and went to the other side in Bogatanga. And then came down through to Tamale. And then we crossed, and then went to Sunyani. And then from Sunyani, we went through the western regions to Masa. And then Takrade, Cape Coast, and then connected back to Ghana. The only to Accra. To Accra. Even when we were at the north, at some point we were very close to Burkina Faso. Like where we were actually very, very close to Burkina Faso. So just that we could have just done like a 2 minutes ride and would have probably been in Burkina Faso. But yeah.
So how long did it take you for this whole ride?
This particular one, it took us 9 days.
9 days. The first one took you 7 days.
7 days, yeah.
This one 9. Because this one, I think you visited more places.
We visited more places and we had more time for the charity.
Okay.
And we wanted it to be a relaxed edition. So the previous one, by 6 a.m., we were on the road. And then, then sometimes you get back around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. And the next morning, 5:36, you are ready to move. So by this one, they wanted it to be relaxed so that we can enjoy the environment, yes. So in some cases, we set off at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. in some cases. Then days that the route is very, very long, then maybe we'll set off like 8:30. So
you have good routes, you can actually relax.
Yes.
And start
later. So it gave us an opportunity to sort of like relax. But that was the relaxed. But the terrain itself, and they were still as dubious.
So we call it another.
Yes.
When you go back with all the adventure, at that times you sit and you go like, what if something had happened? What if I had not come back? Do you get that feeling sometimes?
I try not to get that feeling. Because personally, I believe, like I said, I believe in the power of the tongue. And I believe in not saying certain things. Because when you start saying and thinking them, sometimes you jinx it.
Yeah.
So I don't have a what if. I'm more like, Charlie, I did it. I made it. I've conquered it.
We move.
Yeah, we move. Let's do this. Because I believe that once you start entertaining negative thoughts, it follows you.
It follows.
And it's like that with everything. You are given a new job role, and you are entertaining fears of, what am I going? What if I fail? What if I fail? You're going to fail. What you should look at is, look, I've got this. I can do this. The question is, what do I need to achieve it? So if you need some training, you get it. If you need some mental psyching, you go get it. However, if I need to go and dance for 10 hours to prepare myself for a new role, I do it. If I have to get onto a motorcycle to prepare my mind to go and do something, I do it. But as much as possible, don't entertain negative thoughts. Sometimes we can't help it. It happens. But as much as possible, especially when it comes to riding a motorcycle, I don't entertain negative thoughts. I don't. The few times I've fallen with a bike is because I entertain a negative thought.
I wanted to ask you, have you ever had an encounter?
AIS 1. When we're going to Cape 3 Points. Now, Cape 3 Points is also another horrible road. It's a dirt road. It's long, wide, properly, like it's a road. But the road is not smooth. It has gullies, it has this, and it's so dusty.
It's not hard.
So when there's someone riding in front of you, the person blows dust. So sometimes, ideally, this is a lesson I learned from the previous one. I was chasing the indicator lights so that I'll follow. But the better thing to do would be to let the dust settle for a little bit so you can see where you are going. So I ended up in a gully, like an uneven, and I fell. It was the biggest fall I've ever had in my life. And I remember shouting, and I fell on one side. But the good thing is I was very geared. I had my helmet, my jacket, and everything was padded. So I just got up and sat on a bike. I didn't even have a single scratch. As you can see, I don't have...
And I'm sure the guys just had to turn.
So some will be behind you, some will be ahead of you. So as soon as you fall, and that's the thing, that's the beauty, we don't leave anybody behind. So as soon as something happens to anybody, be it maybe a malfunction on a bike, or you yourself, or young people, or you just even want to stop for a water break or something, everybody, we all just stop. So we have this thing that we do. You are riding. Once you can't see the headlights of the guy behind you, you stop.
You stop.
And if you stop and it takes a while, the person's not coming, you turn around. So there was never a situation where somebody will go, then everybody's left behind. No. So that's how can we move as a team. So that was one big fall I had, very big fall I had. And on this particular one, when we were looking for Lake Busumtree, we went over some rocks, Charlie, like broken rocks. So whatever was done, I was tired, I was dehydrated. I took the bike into the bush. It was some straps, but it wasn't a big thing. I think I was just tired, and my hands were just tired of clutching onto the thing for so long.
The vibration.
It was rocks. It wasn't like ground. It was rocks. But it was very, very, very minor. I just went into the straps. And then after that, I sat back on it and then we went. And no harm caused because you are properly geared for later too. So no harm caused, nothing. You just get up and then you leave. I didn't even have body pains.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I would want to really thank you for coming to share.
Yeah.
And before I let go of you, is there anything you'd want to tell women out there who would want to be bikers but are afraid?
Okay, so what I want to tell women out there is that everything starts and ends in the mind. Society has designed what men can do and what women can do for centuries, for generations. And we have bought into the idea. And that is also what is limiting us. However, we have shown that some of the best chefs in the country are actually men. Same way, some of the best motorcyclists in Ghana could actually be women. So there should be no limitation as a woman. Whatever you set your mind out to do, you can achieve it. All you have to do is to do what you have to do. Get whatever training, whatever lessons you have to do, whatever skill you need to acquire to be able to achieve it. But once you set your mind to achieve it, you can achieve it. And being a woman, if you're able to do some of these things, you have more leverage than a man doing it. There's a reason why I'm in the studio and not the other guys.
Yeah.
Exactly. So as a woman, there's nothing too hard for you to do. There's nothing too great for you to achieve. Just set out in your mind to achieve it, and you surely achieve it.
Thank you very much, Rosina. So it's time for you to pick a card.
Where are the cards?
They're right in front of you, so
see. Did I pick the big one or the small one?
I don't know. I'm just ready to.
Does the big one show a big A?
I don't know. I'm unavailable on that question. So whichever card you take.
Okay, my favorite color is red. Let me see whether there's something that has a red thing inside. No? Okay. All right, I'll pick this.
Okay. This has, okay, there's some red somewhere. Okay.
Is that your final answer?
Okay, so it says good luck to you. Thank you for coming. You take home a sandwich maker.
I don't have one, so that's great.
Okay. So that's from High Sense, you take home a sandwich maker.
Thank you.
So they're making your life easier in the morning.
I know, right? Hey.
So that is which make.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. This is amazing.
Thank you. That's not all.
Ooh.
So from Lexter Ghana, producers of Yas,
okay,
we have a hamper.
This one I have to get up and pick it up. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Oh, this is lovely.
So we have our Yas sanitary pad, our kitchen towels, our washing powder, toothbrushes, toothpaste. This is all for you.
Lovely.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
We say a very big thank you to our sponsors, Yas washing powder and Yas sanitary pad. High Sense everyday prices for everyday people. A very big thank you to Tuwazi Apartment, to Hooch Corn and Chocoflakes. We say thank you to you, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, and also to King of Antique Furniture for our furniture for our new set. We say a very big thank you to you. To our glam team, ABS Lax Line, located on the Odoko Highway, GH Beauty Artistry Hair Duties, located at Osunia Photo Club. Haja, you and your team out. A very big thank you to you for always ensuring I look good when it comes to my hair on this show. To Emplan Media Productions, thank you very much. To the Sousa Catering Services, thank you for always ensuring my team and I are refreshed on this show. This has been this week's episode. Next week, we will come your way with another story. Always do remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. We'll see you next week.